Dear mayors, dear representative of the iCapital 2017 finalist cities, dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this morning session dedicated to innovative capitals, innovative cities in Europe. Commissioner Moedas, the commissioner in charge of science, research and innovation at the European Union level, just awarded the winners of the iCapital 2017 contest. And first of all, I would like to congratulate all the winners. We will come in particular to the winners from the winners that are Paris, Tallinn and Tel Aviv, but the first congratulations go to the 10 finalist cities to which we will make a proposal at the end of our two sessions. Aarhus, Berlin, Copenhagen, Helsinki, Nice, Paris, Tallinn, Tampere, Tel Aviv and Toulouse have made it until the final step of the contest. And there is one major reason that led your city to be here today. You have all successfully managed to bring your citizens closer to innovation, closer to new technologies, and closer to innovative services. But let's start now with this first panel, where we would like to discuss more in particular citizen engagement and experimentation. And I would like to start with Tampere, with Ms. Ainamaki. In terms of population, Tampere is the smallest finalist city. Do you see a link between the size of a city and the engagement of citizens? And what is, according to you, the key to successful citizens' participations?
Yeah, of course I believe that there is the link between citizens and especially political decision making. So it's easy to communicate with citizens because we are flexible city which is ready to cooperate in this different kind of housing districts. So, for example, we have a model in our mayoral model that we meet our citizens in every part of the city very regularly, and that's the way to get different kind of ideas and innovations and to co-create with citizens. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Mr. Reis, the Aarhus iCapital videos that we see on the ground, in the background, depict your city as a city for people, for playing, learning, sharing, creating, and connecting. How did you enable this successful model?
Well, first of all, I mean, if you want to connect with people, you have to empower them and give them power to make decisions, and at the same time, the city has to learn. So an example of this is that we have decided in the city council that we will plant 10,000 trees in the city, but instead of us just saying it will be there and there and there, we say, okay, the citizens will decide where the trees should be planted. So you can go into the website of our Aarhus, and then you can select a tree and you can plant it. And when the tree is planted, we from the city put a sensor underneath the roots. So then through open source, this tree will send information to the city. I am thirsty. I need water, and therefore it becomes also more sustainable because we will only water the trees when they need, and the trees are together with other trees. So we change all our plans about when watering the trees, and the people think it's funny, and they're part of the decision. So it's actually making governments together with the people in a circular way.
Thanks a lot for this excellent example. Mr. Krach, Berlin has Europe's highest net global resource attraction rate, following Silicon Valley on the top. Congratulations first for these amazing numbers. But still, how do you ensure that ever-expanding city engages citizens and assures social cohesion in the meantime?
We are politics and the research institutions and the higher education, so the universities, We have a big interest in the dialogue with the citizens of the city of Berlin, but we are also a very international city. We have about 16% of international students in Berlin, so the dialogue is not only with the Berlin population, the dialogue is with all guests of the city of Berlin. And I think that's why we are a very big hub for startups. I said we have more than 180,000 students. We have 11 state universities. We have 80 research institutions, and this cooperation between the universities and the research institution and the economy, the startups, but also some big economies. That I think that's a success of the city of Berlin. This great cooperation between the society, the research, and the economy.
An impressive ecosystem indeed.
Yeah.
We should not forget, as you mentioned it yourself, Mr. Krars, that citizen participation is important also at the policy level.
Yeah.
And in this sense, I have to say that I'm quite impressed by what has been taking place by Toulouse, which is an open metropolis characterized by participatory governance. Could you, Mr. Dardelet, tell us a bit more about how do you co-govern with your citizens?
Yes, thank you. Indeed, you said it. We had quite an interesting challenge to address. In France, there is a new reform that happens on the 1st January 2015, and we had to manage the gathering of 37 municipalities altogether. So transforming one city of 430,000 inhabitants in an urban area of 1.3 million. So more or less all the European policies, you see them in our 37 municipalities challenge. And so for sure we know that change, the world is changing. So either you follow the change or you anticipate the change. So of course we decided to anticipate the change. Because in Toulouse, more or less we have all the technologies. We build satellites, planes, and the top edge technologies possible. So we decided that we would find ways to go to the citizen, be they on their private life or professional life, be they young, or older, or silver, and so we managed several solutions so that what we did in one municipality is replicable in the 37 municipalities. So the replicability was a must, is a must. And we intend to continue, and certainly next year, I would, if I were other cities, I would fear Toulouse.
Excellent. Ms. Rasmeyer, in your city application, it was stated that no city, no company, university or NGO, no matter how big or capable it is, can tackle current complex challenges alone. How does Helsinki ensure that all actors work together, therefore?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, and it's great to be here. Yeah, we truly believe that the partnership and cooperation is the big goal that our city needs to have. Of course, Finland as a country and Helsinki as a city, to be one of the poorest cities in the world not that many years ago, about 100 years ago, and today to be one of the richest cities in the world. And we are, of course, very happy that there's 2 cities from Finland in the top 10 finalists. It has always been with the cooperation with the citizens, with the partnerships with companies. And actually, the thing that we believe very hardly in Helsinki is the big DNA. We call it our DNA, which means top-class education, which means equality, which means the nerd culture. We're actually very happy and very glad, and we are very honored to be a nerd society. And at the same time, of course, we believe in very important innovations and real acts that comes from the grassroots level. And of course, as a politicians, as a governance, we have to bring all the great models into the bigger side. So yes, we believe with cooperation, and we believe that Helsinki is definitely big enough to have development, to have different innovations, to have it also in a very systematically way. but at the same time small enough to do everything in practice.
Thank you very much. Before closing this first set of questions, we have the European Capital of Innovation 2017.
Yeah.
Congratulations again, Mr.
Thank you
Misika.
very much. We are very happy to have this prize, of course.
I really admire the commitment of your city to actively shape future through a variety of initiatives. In your sense, how do you see, how according to you cities are powerful enough to address in particular global challenges? Because particularly the case in Paris.
Yes, of course. I think that all the cities are confronted to the same challenges. You have the question of pollution, you have the question of terrorism, you have the question of climate change, and you have also the question of congestion and the new challenges for mobility. All these subjects are connected together. And of course, there is the question of the participation of the population to this change and the management of the change. And what we have tried in the city of Paris is to have a global policy, to have something which is not, well, we are going to do this in the field of digital and that in the field of health or biotech. We think that what is very important is to understand that when people are living and working and using the public spaces, all these subjects are connected and there is a link. So for example, we have launched a challenge in the field of urban planning and architecture called Reinventing Paris. And Reinventing Paris is a very good example of this global strategy, holistic strategy we have tried to develop in Paris, because the challenge was about how to transform architecture and urban planning in order to take in account all these new stakes, all these new challenges like security, global warming, or scarcity of resources, or energy transition.
Thank you very much. I'm now curious to learn a bit more about the outcomes and how your city serves as test bed for innovation. And I would like to start with Berlin. Mr. Krach, I read that in Berlin you do not only experiment at the local level, but you also use your borough for micro test beds. How does the system work, and how do you experiment specifically in Berlin?
Yeah, for example, we have a 5G test bed in Berlin for autonomous driving directly in the city center of Berlin, and this is a cooperation model between the Technical University of Berlin and the Fraunhofer Society. And we as the state of Berlin, we give some financial aid for this testbed field in the center, and we hope some results in the next year. We have another focus on digitalization in Berlin. We just opened 5 months ago a new center for digital future. It is another cooperation model between the state and the companies, the private companies, and the research institution. We have created more than 50 new professorships in the field of digitalization, and we need answers for every part of digitalization, for the consequences for the work, for the society, for personal consequences, and that's why we have this focus on this field of digitalization in Berlin.
Thank you very much. Experimentation in Tampere has already provided excellent results. The city has moved from being the cradle of the Finnish industrialization, and I can confirm I was there 10 days ago, to a now really high-tech and knowledge-based economy. Where will the experiment of today are leading Tampere?
So we see that city can be in many different kind of roles. It can be testing ground, it can be a founder, it can enable different kind of innovations. And for example, we opened our old industrial district. It's called the Hiedaranta, for innovations, for culture, for citizens. And the idea is that this is the place where you can experiment different kind of innovations. And the idea is that I heard that world uses, in world we use only 1.7 of people's creativity. What if it would be a little bit more, for example 4% or something like that? So it could get so much more knowledge and so much more more outcomes from talented people. And I think that this is the city's key role and Tampere's key role in the future, how to get this creativity and these innovation, business innovations together. And this Hiedaranta example is one example of that.
Thank you. For good experimentation, and you already mentioned it, a certain scientific background is definitely needed. Toulouse is a European City of Science in 2018. How do you promote experimentation? How do you bring your citizens and science together in Toulouse?
Yeah, that's the big challenge. You know, civilizing globalization and civilizing technologies is what we have in front of us. You know, people love to hide behind their telephones, and our challenge is to get the people together, because then the value, you know, it's the difference between making people equally unhappy and getting them together, make them equally happy. And this is our challenge. So therefore we create, number one, sites, nice sites, you know, historical sites that we, you know, redo, refurbish, so that people are happy to come here and join. We call it the Pier of Knowledge, le Quai des Savoirs in French, and other sites. But we also go to the quarters, to the so-called difficult quarters, because not everyone goes to these nice fab labs and hubs and all these incubators and all that stuff, you name them. We need to go to them, to these difficult quarters. So we invented some kind of what we call the wherry, you know, a nacelle, a lift, where people can use the technologies, but also, you know, share all together. So sites is important. Then, you name them, we create events. So we have the MTech, you know, MIT every year that comes for a forum in Toulouse, which happens in Toulouse every year. And we have this ESOF, so the Euroscience Open Forum, which gathers quite a few thousands people from all ages, from all specialities, from all you know, genders or whatever, where everyone will have the capacity, the capability to share its knowledge or its appetite for knowledge, the way to handle it more properly, more usefully, etc. So it will be a big event thanks to the Commission. It's a wonderful initiative, and we're happy to host that in Toulouse next year. And we just started a few weeks ago.
I know my Director General went in Toulouse and he was very impressed by the preparation work. Mr. Reis, in Aarhus you set up a livable city lab and a city lab to test and implement smart city solutions. Can you share with us some of the ongoing experiments which results could soon be expected to be seen on the streets of the other European cities?
Well, I mean, what I would like, I mean, to continue this track is to say that, I mean, innovation is people, and it's very important for the city of Aarhus that this innovation also become human rich. In order to make a tolerant city, we have to know about one another in the whole city. So it's not like that. I mean, you can very easily, due to the market, make a very city where the rich people are living in certain parts and other people in other parts, and you need to have human knowledge to have a strong city. So one of the things that have come out is that when we do constructions, it's not exactly what you're hitting at, but it's important. We have all these vacant spaces for 1 month, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, and we give them to social entrepreneurs and cultural entrepreneurs. for like 50 euro a month. They can stay there, they have to leave within 1 month if necessary. And one of the things that came out of that is very nice, is that we also have homeless people in Aarhus, of course. We're a big city. And normally these people are very secluded, but they have made, together with these people, poverty walks, which means that you can hire a homeless, and you can the homeless man or woman can show you their Aarhus. They can take a walk, say, oh, this place you need to see, because here there is a lot of heat coming up from the underground. This is a great place to sleep. And this is like combining people, and that's made possible also through this, and it makes a more human, rich, and tolerant city, which is very important for us with innovation.
Indeed. Ms. Rasmeyer, your city is among the pioneers of open data, which are used for all kinds of experiments now, from air quality measurements to clinical testing. How do you work with open data, and what is the added value for your citizen in particular?
Well, the value is, of course, very high, and why the experiments are possible in our cities is because of the very large scale. As a city, we take care of education, of our healthcare system, of our energy system, and of course, all of this gives us a lot of opportunities to also develop our cities. But I can say, as a Helsinki, we believe that to be a smart city is, of course, a good goal, but a better goal is to participate people on being a smart city. And participatory is of course crucial to our city and of course to our citizens. We have a great open data. Actually, every decision that in Helsinki has been made, but decision makers are already open for people. So you can follow basically everything from the budget to the decisions. I could give you one example of the participatory model that we have, for example, for young people, and of course we would like to take this further also to elderly people, but especially with the young people, they just not participate, but they also have a decision making on how they would like to use the budget. So we truly believe that the participation is not only being involved, it's actually making decisions. How do I want my city to be developed? How would I like my school to be developed? So yes, we believe in our citizens, definitely.
Thank you very much. And it provides me a very good transition to my last question to Mr. Misika. As we have seen in your city videos at the award ceremony and now in the background, you run the iCapital campaign under the slogan, Fabricating Future.
Yeah.
What kind of future does Paris aims to?
Well, we want a future free of carbon. We want a future with zero waste strategy. We want a future with mobility as a service. It means that no cars owned by individual people will have the right to be driven inside the city in, let's say, 20 or 25 years. And if you want to go to these very ambitious targets, to these very ambitious goals, you need first to explain the process. When the mayor of Paris say that we will be free of diesel in 2024 and free of gas-powered vehicles in 2030, it's a signal we launch and we give not only to the population but also to the car makers. So we think that we have to take very seriously the question of energy transition and economic shift towards a new model. And if we want to do that, it will be very important to put the money in transition and to give information to the people in order to have the power to transform the city. So this is our goals, and I think that we share this goal with other cities in the C40 in this competition, and these goals are absolutely necessary for the future of the planet and for the future of humanity. Thank you.
I could not conclude on better words.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all your very inspiring words. For the cities that I don't know, it gives me the appetite to come and visit you very soon. Thanks a lot, and I would like to invite now the other session that will come in a minute. Many thanks again.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank
your
you.
Your telephone.